Sebastian Lletget, who goes for the chip and scores delightfully. Müller! It's a rout already.
What's up, soccer fans? Welcome to the Soccer Brothers podcast. I'm your host, Sahil, and I'm joined by my brother, Nihal. Nihal, what is the biggest domination you had in a sporting event that you've played in?
The biggest domination I've had in a sporting event?
Yeah.
I mean, I've had a couple of games in tennis, in high school tennis, where I've won 6-0, 6-0. I mean, that's probably the most dominant.
I was thinking more of a team sport, but just in light of this result that we're going to talk about.
Well, I would say in indoor soccer, which again was just a big field inside. Actually, you know what? There were plenty of games in my flag football season in 6th grade where we just dominated and played the other team off the field. I won't get too much into it because those were sort of my glory days. And I think you're sick of hearing about it, but
yeah. Apparently, the coach once said, "This kid's special. Your kid's something else." To my dad, or
yeah, that's what he said after I had a pick six. Man, that game was crazy. I was playing safety, and I read the quarterback's eyes, picked it off, and ran back, and it was super muddy. The game was super muddy because I remember in the same game, he called an end around to me, and I immediately slipped and got mud all over my sweatpants.
You got to be more familiar with the field conditions.
Our coach was kind of revolutionary running those jet sweeps to me.
There's no way was he actually doing that?
Yeah, that was actually the play call that I got.
I wonder how particular they are with illegal formation and eligible receivers and all that kind of stuff.
I don't think at all. I mean, it's flag football. What about you? What's
was false start called? Or
false start was, yeah.
Okay.
False start was called.
Anyways,
what was your most dominating performance?
I feel like I'm thinking. I mean, there was probably. I think I remember some 10-1s in high school. We had a really, really good striker. My freshman and sophomore year, we scored 60, 50 goals one season or something.
Thomas?
Yeah, Thomas.
And Thomas Cumberland, good Everton fan. Great Everton fan.
Oh, yeah. Friend of the pod. And then also my 5th and 6th grade basketball team, we never won a championship, but we were a very dominant regular season team. But once things became more half court in the tournaments, we weren't as so dominant. But we had I remember thinking how cool it was that our center was 5'6". That was a very dominating presence.
See, but you were not really central to either of those teams. Well, basketball you played a lot, actually.
Yeah, back then I played less and less as I went on. I was a sixth man. I was the.
But what's the most dominant team you played on when you were a key contributor? Have you been on one?
A dominating team that I was a key contributor on. Yeah, I don't. I probably that 5th or 6th grade basketball team. I mean, I was like the Lou Will.
This is what you get for. This is not what you get for not playing rec sports. I played in a co-ed basketball league, and there was this girl, Mercedes, on my team, and we just dominated that league. We would just go up and down the court passing to each other and score. You missed out, man. You missed out on some fun times.
Yeah, no, that definitely would have prepped me better. But I mean, I do think I have just physical limitations that.
Well, so do I. You're taller than I am.
We're talking about basketball. Yeah, okay, yeah, you were still a little kid. I'm saying neither one of us could have been that good when it was all said and done.
Well, yes.
I mean, there are,
So I think on balance, I'm probably a better basketball player, and you're probably a better soccer player.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say you were probably naturally better than me in sports.
I mean, maybe.
I've played more soccer than you have, so.
But yeah, I've barely played soccer. Yeah, I would say maybe. I think I'm just a little bit. Neither of us are very coordinated. Actually, but see, the thing is, we have terrible This is why are we talking about this? But we both have awful fine motor skills. But I feel like that kind of goes out the window in sports. I feel like we're pretty coordinated.
Yeah, it's not that important. I mean, maybe grip in tennis, maybe.
Maybe.
But yeah, no, you're definitely better at sports. I think I'm better at video games, but.
Oh, that's interesting. You really?
Yeah, well, I beat you in FIFA and 2K, even though you play much more than I.
Well, not 2K, but
Well, still.
Yeah, I mean,
But
you might be
for
better at video games. FIFA, I don't think I don't know. I don't think you've ever actually been a better FIFA player than I am. You just know how I play. Like FIFA,
Okay, but you should know how I play. I don't get that.
I do, but that makes it really competitive. So I was talking about this with
fair enough.
yeah. But I think maybe you do have a little bit more natural talent in video games. I'll give you that.
But you're actually the one who, does this for a living to some extent.
Not to any extent. I mean, I make money on my streams. If you guys are interested in video games, Big Time Brownie on Twitch. Not streaming too much anymore. I don't think people watch me for my gaming prowess. I think it's kind of the opposite.
Yeah, this is true. This is probably true. Anyways, moving on. After that long-winded introduction, the U.S. played El Salvador in their final friendly of 2020 in Miami, Wednesday evening, 7:30 Eastern Time, and took care of business, scoring 5 goals in the first half and winning 6-0 handily with their MLS roster. And I don't know. I mean, it was a fun game in the first half, wasn't it, y'all?
Yeah, well, MLS roster and Sebastian Soto. But, no, yeah, it was, that 10-minute stretch was a lot of fun. And, again, we don't have a script. But I don't know how exactly you want to break this down. But, yeah, I mean, just general thoughts. It was a fun game. I think there's something about these friendlies, particularly the MLS friendlies, that just doesn't excite me as much. And I think that's more on me, just because I feel like a lot of these guys, it's good, and we'll get maybe more into the long-term aspects of these games. It's just I don't really know how much of a contributor Ayo Akinola is going to be. He could be, because I think...
How dare you?
I mean, honestly, I think he might be our best hold-up striker that we have. That I've seen play for the U.S. national team, just in terms of pure hold-up play. I don't know.
Yeah, possibly.
I think he's...
The problem is, if you could just take the best parts of every striker we have and combine them together, I think we would have a decent one.
Yeah,
but
maybe we should do that sometimes. Build our perfect USMNT players based on the traits of existing USMNT players.
That would be interesting. I mean, and also create a lineup out of them, because I feel like it would be... I mean, just position's so important in soccer that, the skills are just... For one player, that wouldn't really, ever come to...
Right. I mean, probably not. I mean, who's the most well-rounded player in the world? I mean, is there anyone that's really like Ronaldo? Maybe Gareth Bale? I mean, when Gareth Bale is prime, not right now. David Alaba, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, those are all decent. I mean, maybe, I don't know. It's just hard to say. I mean, you probably lean towards some center midfielder just because they have both defensive and offensive responsibilities, or fullback.
Yeah, well, that's kind of Alaba plays center attacking mid for his national team and has played left back and center back.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Well, anyway, no, it was fun. It was fun. Why don't we talk about the starting lineup?
Yeah. Okay, so starting goal, we had Bill Hamid, right back. We had Julian Araujo, and then our center backs were Mark McKenzie and Aaron Long. Sam Vines played left back, Brendan Aronson, Jackson Ewell, and Sebastian Letjet in the midfield, Paul Areola at right wing, Ayo Akinola at striker, and, of course, Chris Mueller at left wing.
Yeah, and I think, looking at when the lineup came out, there wasn't really that many surprises to me. I thought maybe Sebastian Soto would start, but he came into camp late. Daryl DK, who I think a lot of us were excited to see at striker, unfortunately picked up a knock and was unable to play today. And we didn't do a roster breakdown or anything. Someone I did really want to see was Cam Caden, who's an American teenager who just sort of burst onto the scene for New York Red Bulls this year and scored some incredible goals at attacking midfield and on the wing. So he's definitely one to watch. He has been lighting up the USL. Sahil, you should go watch his highlights. I'm sure you haven't seen much of him yet, but he's pretty exciting. But yeah, I mean, this was the same starting midfield that we saw at the beginning of the year in January camp, actually, when the U.S. beat Costa Rica 1-0. Same exact starting midfield. It was nice to see Paul Arriola. You know, Paul Arriola is a player that I don't think is going to excite anyone, any of our fans. I mean, we kind of know what he is, but it was nice to see him back. Same with Sebastian Lletget. You know, we kind of know what he brings, but I think having two players like that on the pitch was exciting. You know, I think a lot of people wanted to see Brandon Aronson. You know, Greg brought him in the fall of 2019 when he sort of burst onto the scene. Not really, though. He wasn't, I mean, he was starting, but he wasn't doing a whole lot for Philly. And then in the last year, he's just had an incredible rise and now is headed over to Salzburg to play for Jesse March in January. And then, you know, you had, and Aaron Long's actually another, like, veteran that I guess, you know, is there as well. I think, Chris Mueller, Ayo Akinola, and Julian Araujo. I think those were probably the most exciting players, most exciting debutants that I was personally interested in. And I thought all three showed pretty well, actually.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is really hard to parse what was done in this game because I feel like this El Salvador side, which was largely depleted due to visa problems and. I mean, in general, the U.S. was probably taking care of El Salvador, but it was kind of hard to parse out what was good versus what was bad from El Salvador.
I don't think what you take out of this game is not what was good or like the U.S. was so dominant. It's patterns of play and how Greg Berhalter is setting up his team and setting up a system, because I think we saw a lot of similar things in this match that we did in the two previous matches in Europe, and that's something Greg was saying before this game. Apparently they spent the first part of the week talking about defending and the last part of the week talking about attacking, which is really interesting to me. An interesting setup. But he sort of talked about how we've sort of switched this high press with the midfield three and the front three playing with that high press and having our defenders having to deal with so much space behind them. And I think what we saw were interesting patterns of play from the U.S. national team. You know, something that was different, actually. I thought we played a lot more balls over the top in this game. I think what I talked about last time about Greg being adaptable to his players, I think really showed in this game, and it showed in the form of Jackson Ewell versus Tyler Adams and the types of players they are. Tyler Adams was making more runs or was dropping a little bit deeper to be in defensive position, or was sort of, laying the ball off to Weston McKennie or Yunus Musa and having those guys go forward. In this game, you saw Jackson Ewell making diagonal passes to Paul Arriola and Chris Mueller on the wings. And, you know, those are just the types of players they are, right? Jackson Ewell is much more of a deep distributor. Tyler Adams is much more of an energetic, sort of box-to-box-ish, you know, number 6. I'm not saying Tyler Adams can't make the passes. I just don't think that's his, that's not necessarily what he is focused on. And I thought what was really interesting, along with those balls over the top from the center of the midfield, something that I saw consistently was our fullbacks, Araujo and Vines, playing in Aronson and Lletget on the side there, down that channel. Towards the touchline, and then the wingers sort of tucking in and picking up the ball either at the top of the box or making runs off of that. Over and over again, we saw those guys doing. Go ahead.
What you're saying kind of manifested itself in Chris Mueller's first goal, because he makes that run down the left-hand side and then makes the cross in and then cuts back out into the top of the box, then ends up receiving the ball again and scores.
Yeah, so. Exactly. Exactly. And, you know, I think that was really interesting, and not necessarily what we saw. What was similar, what we saw in the European friendlies, what was similar was our center midfielders sort of taking up wide positions, right? Because, again, Sebastian Lletget and Brandon Aronson, Sebastian Lletget was a winger when he came through at West Ham. When he played at West Ham, I don't want to say came through. And Brandon Aronson can play at, right midfield, and he's much more of an attacking midfielder. So even though, if we're thinking about this in FIFA formations, which I think is honestly relatable, like there's not really a whole lot of, it doesn't tell you a whole lot tactically, but I think just when you're visualizing how a team is set up, if you have ever played FIFA, this was sort of set up as like a 4-3-3 holding, where Jackson Ewell was the deepest midfielder, and Brendan Aronson and Sebastian Lletget we're level actually, and we're making the same runs just on different sides of the pitch, and we're pressing in the same ways just on different sides of the pitch. Whereas maybe at this time last year, you would have seen Yule and Letjet playing as double pivots and Brandon Aronson playing in front of them with Areola and Mueller playing level with Aronson as sort of outside midfielders rather than out-and-out wingers on the front line there with the striker. So, I mean, we already see that type of change, which I think is something that we've all wanted. We want this team to play a more high-press style where we can win the ball back and, start really potent counterattacks. But also, make some exciting and interesting runs when in possession as well, which I think is, that's why this formation is basically the formation we see, all over the world at this point. Some variation of this 4-3-3. So,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were even seeing that. I think you're right to say that Brendan Aronson and Sebastian Letjet are these type of players who can kind of make those runs and allow the wingers to cut inside off ball. But we were even seeing Weston McKennie making that exact same run, and Musa, really.
Exactly.
So, it is cool to see those players who are certainly of a different quality than these center midfielders, but both executing this new exciting philosophy.
Absolutely. And I think that's what's really exciting to me, is applying those concepts to clearly less talented players, but executing well, right? And that to me is a sign of a good coach and a good system. And hopefully what happens is this sort of trickles down throughout our youth teams too, and we actually, and players are going to come into the U.S. men's national team ready. And it's not and I'm not necessarily saying play a 4-3-3 with one central defensive midfielder and two center midfielders in front of him. It's about the runs they're looking to make. It's about the defensive positions they're taking up and the pockets of space they're looking for in possession. I think that's really important. I think with these players, you tend to see them be a little bit more conservative. Sometimes with these MLS players, you're just like, please turn. Like, there's a guy that's making a run that, Yunus Musa might turn and might go forward. But you see these guys making the runs and thinking about, and just being more attacking, more willing to attack, especially our fullbacks. Julian Araujo, a lot of people view him as a strictly defensive fullback. But I thought he was really good going forward today.
Yeah, he was awesome going forward. Even an assist too today.
Yeah, on that header. On that Chris Mueller header. And honestly, until that terrible giveaway he had, I honestly thought he was the best player on the pitch. I know, obviously Chris Mueller had a great day, but I thought Araujo was awesome defensively. I mean, he won the ball back a lot, and he was in position, and he was really good at getting forward and making runs and playing out of some danger. He obviously had that terrible back pass that almost led to a goal. That Dustin Correa almost scored. But I thought he was excellent today. I guess those were sort of my initial thoughts. I know I sort of went all over the place and talked a lot, but as you can tell, I'm really excited, and I'm noticing these tactical adjustments and this tactical awareness that I don't think I've ever seen in my time watching the U.S. men's national team. And I think you probably feel the same way, honestly.
Yeah, I think there's obviously, as you said, there's been a certain level of flexibility. There's been certain time that Greg has put into kind of refining this system and the way we're playing, but also kind of transparency in what he's doing. And I think the players understand that. And it is very refreshing as a fan to hear exactly what goes into his process. And maybe, and I think that must translate to how the players feel about the system too.
Absolutely. And, this goes beyond the system, but I think, Taylor Twellman was saying in the broadcast that, Greg Berhalter believes it's part of his job to be actively recruiting dual nationals, and we've seen that. There were a couple on the pitch tonight. Julian Araujo is eligible for Mexico. Ayo Akinola is eligible for Canada and Nigeria, I believe. So, and Sebastian Soto eligible for Chile. He played tonight. And we don't have to go into all the do nationals that he called in last time, too. But, it's... I think Greg Berhalter is a lot more progressive in thought than many people had imagined. I think there is a large chunk of the U.S. men's national team fan base that just still craps on MLS and anything that comes out of MLS, which again makes zero sense to me because we want MLS to be good because then the national team is going to be good. But whatever.
And I mean, I feel like Greg has been... I mean, it obviously is a natural time to play more young players and try out certain looks and, take chances on younger players because we haven't played a competitive game in a long time. But he's done that, right? We asked this so many times during the Klinsmann era, sometimes during the Arena era, to start the players that are the most exciting and have the most upside, and he's done that.
He absolutely has done that, and. We can't give him all the credit he had. I mean, we just have the players now, too. I mean, that's a big part of it. But, Tyler Adams existed and was playing at a very high level when the U.S. men's national team crashed out in Trinidad, so in Cuba. So, I think Greg... I mean, Jurgen, to an extent, he played DeAndre Yedlin at the World Cup. He brought John Brooks on the roster, which apparently was some huge deal, even though he was a starter in the Bundesliga. So Jurgen was a little bit more like that, but I think
he subbed on Julian Green in an elimination.
Yeah, exactly. So he was willing to do that, but it feels like Greg is doing it with intent, which I think is different. And it's just nice. It's nice to watch the U.S. and be like, yes, I see what they're trying to do. And obviously it's nice to see that it's working, but it's nice to see that they have a clear instruction. It's not Michael Bradley desperately telling his players what to do, or Jermaine Jones and Michael Bradley going to the sideline and telling Jurgen, no, let's do this,
Yeah, no, for sure. I definitely expected to... I wasn't as excited, and I think a lot of people can share the sentiment going into this game as I was for the previous two friendlies that the U.S. played. But I mean, once the game started and I saw the way they were playing and playing together and all the interplay and all the just tactics being executed, I think, it gave me a lot of confidence that because you're never gonna have the perfect starting 11. We didn't have it in those friendlies. Pulisic was injured. That's going to be the story throughout qualifying. So just one or two of these guys, if they understand their role and understand Greg's tactics and execute them, then these games are important for them to get comfortable and learn that. And I have confidence that many of these players, at least one of these many players, could show up in that role in an important qualifying game.
Absolutely. And, something that they were talking about the broadcast and something you have to keep in mind is this year, we have this upcoming year, hopefully, we have the Olympics, we have the Gold Cup, we have the Nations League, we have World Cup qualifying. And we are going to need as many players as we can. And that's the thing. Like, I think a lot of us, I think this is kind of what you were alluding to, right? Like, everyone is so focused on that best starting 11. You weren't alluding to it, you just said it. Everyone's so focused on the best starting 11. But, players who can plug in and fill a role are really important. And in this year, when we're going to be playing so many fixtures, and in each window there are going to be 3 games, which is crazy, you're not going to start the same 11 players for 270 minutes, You need some depth, and you need players who know what's expected of them. And that's why I have no problem seeing guys like Sebastian Lletget and Paul Arriola play, because, like I said at the beginning, I wasn't very excited about them, but, I mean, I don't mind seeing them because, I mean, they clearly have quality, and they clearly have qualities that they can bring to the national team. And I thought
they were both really good today, I thought.
I mean, and Lletget, when Lletget first started playing for the LA Galaxy, I was raving about him because of the way I think I used to always say the way he can navigate space. And I still think that's true to an extent. Well, not to an extent, it's true, especially in relation to a lot of MLS players we've seen in the past. And I mean, I think just overall, the average MLS player and the average, especially at those that play for the U.S. men's national team, are just much more skilled than they were, 8 years ago. Like, Paul Arriola is a much more skilled player, I think, than like Brad Davis or even Graham Zusi.
I was going to say Graham Zusi too.
Yeah, I mean, and same with Mueller. And there's still a ways to go, but I think we're sort of starting to see the shift of, that happened about a decade ago of soccer becoming a sport that people played for fun, and not just at an academy or with a travel team where they were just being coached to do whatever, and I think that's sort of an underrated aspect of our story as a soccer nation. Nowadays I see people playing soccer all the time, and it's a conversation you and I have had many times about how I think we produce a lot of players that were just coached in a way that did not allow them to be creative. I mean, that's a whole other tangent we could go on, but I think I think we're starting to see that sort of shift in perspective come to fruition, and that's especially true with these domestic players. When you go to Europe, obviously things change, but these guys, all of them except for Sebastian Lletget and Paul Arriola, got their start in MLS. Right, and got their start in MLS youth academies, or played college soccer, like Chris Mueller was playing for the University of Wisconsin a couple years ago, it's awesome. It's awesome to see. Sebastian Lletget played for West Ham, and Paul Arriola played for Tijuana. That's where they made their professional debuts. But the other 9 players, they're MLS guys. So it's really cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, Lletget had a couple of really nice moves in this game. He, of course, had that chipped goal that was deflected, which was, I mean, still a nice finish. And Arriola had our first goal, I believe, actually.
Yes.
Who Sam Vines made a good run and passed it to Mueller, who put it back into the center of the box. And Paul Arriola, actually from decently far out. I feel like that was kind of understated by everyone how good of a finish that was. I mean, there was like 4 guys around him, and he was like, what?
No, yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah. That was just a really good finish. I mean, one thing that I just thought about is it feels like the wingers that we have now, I feel so much more confident in. I feel like there was a time where we saw Alejandro Bedoya and Graham Zusi play on the wing. And neither of those guys are really wingers, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess Graham Zusi that's where he started, but...
Right, but, I mean...
They're right midfielders, or like they're midfielders, I would say.
Right, but, I mean, even now, yeah, Bedoya is playing in the midfield, but, like, now I just feel like we have such more dynamic players out there on the wing who are confident on ball. I mean, we probably started Graham Zusi because of set pieces, mostly. I mean...
Well, who else do we have? Oh, wait, Landon Donovan. But who else do we have?
I can't believe that. Oh, my God.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. But, yeah, no, that's kind of what I was saying, right? Like, the creativity. And you said it much more simply and succinctly than I did. That's sort of what I'm talking about. Like, Paul Arriola, I mean, I don't even know what choice winger. I mean, we have Pulisic and Gio Reyna. Those are probably our starting wingers. And then Tim Weah and Jordan Morris are probably ahead of Paul Arriola, right? Yeah. And I'm probably forgetting someone, too. But, with Paul Arriola, I'm comfortable with any of those 5 guys playing, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, and it's possible that Musa could also play on the wing, and I'm guessing in some looks, too.
Oh, for sure, yeah, that's true, too.
Assuming he chooses to play for the national team.
And maybe Serginho Dest, since now we have Araujo, I mean, just add him to our right back depth. Our right back depth is so ridiculous.
Yeah, it is definitely very exciting. So do you want to hit on position groups or?
Yeah, let's do it that way. Why don't we do
Okay, so keeper, I thought Bill Hamid did not have much to do at all. I mean, it got a little bit hairy in the second half, but I don't know, didn't stand out. I mean, you got what you got. Bill Hamid's a good keeper, we know this.
Yeah, he had two saves. The second one was much better, even though it was right at him. I thought his distribution was good and his decision making was good. I think that's, in the past when you see Zach Steffen in this type of game, he's maybe had some hairy moments that he created himself. But Hamid did not do that. I'm not saying Hamid should start over Steffen. I'm just saying. Steffen, by the way, made his Champions League debut today. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he started for City today, and they had a clean sheet against Marseille. So good for him.
Not bad.
But yeah, I thought it was good. His distribution, like I said, was good. He had a couple of nice, chipped passes into midfield, which I thought were nice. I think that's probably, there's not much else to say. I mean, he's 30 years old now, which is insane. I remember being so excited about Bill Hamid. But I mean, I think he is overlooked. We'll see if he has a role to play for the U.S. going forward. Matt Turner was a guy I think a lot of people wanted to see. He's a young keeper for the Revolution, widely considered the best keeper in MLS, and probably someone who's going to move to Europe quite soon. I would actually love for him to go to Everton. I think he is starter quality in the Premier League for sure, Matt Turner. And I think if he makes that move, I think he could start over Steffen, to be completely honest. But yeah, I know.
Steffen just started for Manchester City today in the Champions League.
Yeah, I mean, but it's nice. I think we can have two guys, But yeah, he was playing in the Eastern Conference Finals for the Revolution, so he obviously wasn't there. And we had a couple of other guys that couldn't be there: Christian Roldan, Jordan Morris, Giassi Zardes, probably maybe even Darlington Nagbe. Probably all guys that would probably have gotten looks,
right?
If they weren't in the MLS playoffs. But yeah, Bill Hamid overall pretty good.
All right, and then the back line, pretty good showings from everyone, I thought. I think Araujo was probably the standout, as you said, just so dynamic going forward, had some really good defensive moments, really confident, just had perfect synergy on that right-hand side with Paul Arriola and Brendan Aronson. Aaron Long and Mark McKenzie, they both looked, I thought, pretty confident, pretty good. Still looked like center backs were capable of starting attacks. And, I mean, neither of them is John Brooks, obviously, but I thought they were, and McKenzie, for his...
I think McKenzie...
This is his debut?
Yeah, it is his debut. I think McKenzie could be John Brooks. Aaron Long, I mean, we kind of know what he is. I thought, actually, he wasn't too awesome tonight. I mean, he was fine because he didn't have to do much. But I remember him distinctly missing a tackle. He made a decent recovery. And he's solid. He's a solid defender. He's fast. I think he's much faster than a Matt Miazga or Tim Ream. So he's someone who can make up a lot of space and make up for his own mistakes.
Right.
Mark McKenzie, though, his positioning is so interesting to me. I think he's someone that definitely needs someone like Aaron Long next to him. Because, we talked about Tim Ream playing in no man's land. Mark McKenzie kind of does that, or did that tonight, except he pulls it off, right? He's able to step in front of the attacking player and win the ball. He reminds me of a center back for Manchester City, honestly, where he was playing. Really high up. I know we were playing a high press, but playing really high up and making some nice passes, but also just picking up the ball and getting the ball off of El Salvador. I said high up so many times, but really high up.
And getting involved in set pieces too pretty effectively.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, he should have scored. I don't think that was offside.
Oh no, it wasn't. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought he was really impressive. I think we've heard a long time about Mark McKenzie. He played for the U20s, I think, or maybe the U17s. He captained one of those teams. I think it was the U20s. But so he's a really good passer. We know he has to improve a little bit defensively. It seems like he's done that. He's been linked with Celtic for over a year. But I think more clubs are starting to look at him around Europe. He's definitely one to watch. I'm not sure if he's left-footed or right-footed. I thought he was right-footed going into this game, but now I think maybe he's left-footed. So I don't know. But
it's probably a good thing, right?
It's a great thing. And if he's right-footed, that means he can play either position, because for some reason left-footed center backs can't play right center back, but right-footed center backs can play left center back. I don't know why, but yeah, I thought he looked pretty good. And Sam Vines, honestly, I thought. He only played for 45 minutes, so, we didn't get to see him in the second half. But I thought he was good. I thought he was sound defensively, and he started a lot of attacks down the left side to Leggett and Mueller. So I thought he was pretty solid today.
According to Transfer Market, Mark McKenzie is left-footed and has also played a bit at left back, so I'd assume that's probably correct.
Yeah. Okay, well, we have another left-footed center back. We have three. Yeah. we have three now, so that's good.
Sam Vines I thought was pretty good in the first half, but he did get subbed off at halftime, but for Marco Farfan. But I thought he was pretty effective. I believe got a hockey assist on the first or second goal, and was pretty active. Yeah, I liked what I saw.
Yeah, I feel like even the left backs we've had in the past just were never solid. It was just someone playing out of position. So I really enjoy having two actual left backs playing in this game. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. Should we move on to the midfield?
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so we had Jackson Ewell, Brendan Aronson, and Sebastian Leggett. Pretty exciting stuff. I thought Brendan Aronson. You said Araujo was your best player in this game. I could maybe agree with that. I thought Brendan Aronson, though, every touch looked purposeful from him. We know his quality from Philadelphia, but he was just, I thought, so good, so comfortable, which, like you said before, I like to comment on, and obviously able to play that overlapping role with Areola cutting in, and he even got himself a goal in the second half, and definitely deserved one based on his play.
Yeah, I thought he really grew into the game. At the beginning, I don't know what was going on. He had a couple of bad touches and some really wayward passes in the first 15 minutes, but after that he sort of settled down and started to play, I think, really well. I was a little bit worried in the first 15 minutes, and I think I was paying a lot of attention to him specifically, so I noticed a lot of those mistakes. So, I think I would probably have to go back and watch it to feel better about Brendan Aronson, but I think he's obviously such a talented player.
Well, clearly something in the game overall changed after around the 15th minute, because the U.S. rattled off 5-10.
That's very true. That's very true. I still think he's probably better playing a little bit further forward. I really don't know what his best position is, to be completely honest. This position, I think, this position in this system actually suits him quite well. So, I was impressed with Brendan Aronson. Jackson Ewell, I think you can look at this game and be like, wow, he was really great. He made a lot of really beautiful passes, but also he made a lot of really bad passes, I thought. And, when you're making diagonal balls, obviously not everyone's going to be perfect. That's just impossible. But I thought he had some, shaky passes on the ground, too. And, Jackson Ewell, I think, is a player that can play in the Gold Cup. He's a player that can play in certain CONCACAF friendlies when we're being ball dominant. I don't think he's a player that can play when we don't have much of the ball, right? I think if we have the bulk of possession, he's fine. He's good, maybe even. Clearly he's not going to start over Tyler Adams, but I think he's someone who needs time and space on the ball as sort of that deep line distributor. I do think this is probably the best defensively he's looked, but also they didn't have to do much defensively. But in the second half, I thought he did a decent job of cutting off passing lanes, more so than I've seen in the past from him. I feel like I'm being too negative right now with our midfielders, but I don't know. I guess I'm trying to think of it in the context of the national, the starting national team.
Yeah, he is 23, so it's not like, he's has a ton of years to like get refined.
Weston McKennie's 21. Oh, you're saying he's old?
Yeah, I'm saying like it's not like I'm sure you might have a different view on this performance if he was like 19 or 18 or.
Yeah, I mean he's a talented player. He can make some really nice passes. I don't know how I feel about this type of midfielder when we're playing so high. I don't know actually. You know what? I don't know. Because
Michael Bradley PTSD.
Well, no, a little bit, but I think there's just pros and cons to that type of player. And I think like this midfield is not very defensive at all, which we can do against El Salvador, right? But if we can't do this against like Mexico. You know, Tyler Adams, Yunus Musa, and Weston McKennie are obviously better players, but they're also much better defensive players too. So, and I think that's something important to keep in mind. I think Ewell could be really interesting playing with Adams and McKennie, actually. But, yeah, I mean, he was good. I mean, on balance, he was good tonight. I'm just saying, you know, that there was things that I saw that I think would not bode well if he were to have to start in a huge, big game for the U.S.
Right, which hopefully, I mean, yes, hopefully, it doesn't need to come to that, but
right.
I could agree with that. But I thought, I mean, maybe I'd have to go back and watch it. I thought most of what I saw was definitely positive from him today. I thought there definitely were more good passes than bad passes, but...
He has some beautiful balls.
Yeah.
He has some beautiful, beautiful passes, like pinpoint accurate. And you know, he might be the best in the pool right now at doing that. I think he's better than Michael Bradley at that, honestly.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Should we
what do you think about Leggett?
I think he was good. You know, again, a couple of wayward touches. You know, like they're MLS players, like they're not world class players, so it's gonna happen. He had a couple of wayward touches, but I think overall he was really good. I thought he was good defensively. I thought he was really good going forward, and I think he can. I think he can do a lot more with the ball at his feet than people give him credit for. He had a really nice dummy in the second half, or it wasn't really a dummy. It was sort of like a body feint.
Yeah.
And he did that a couple of times more subtly in the first half. He can sort of dribble around people and keep possession. I think that skill is really important, and I think Sebastian Leggett is just going to be a really important piece going forward, probably coming off the bench for the U.S. So, yeah, I thought he was actually very good tonight.
Yeah, I thought so too. I think, yeah, I remember he scuffed a shot early on in the second half. Did have some wayward touches, but largely positive.
That was bad. He should have scored that.
Yeah, that is true. No, he did. He did at least get a goal, though, into his name in the first half, so
you know,
I can forgive him.
I saw that, and I thought, this guy should be our starting striker against Wales.
Yeah.
Nah, we'll give Greg a break. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I don't think it's ever going to happen again. So, no, yeah,
I certainly hope not. That did not make any sense. But not his fault, and I do think he just gets a little bit of unnecessary hate from the fans.
Weird. Why?
I don't understand what he did to anybody.
I really don't. Why does everyone hate Leggett? I really don't get it. Like, is it just because he's like the best MLS player right now that's not named Jordan Morris? Like, I feel
like Nagby never got that hate or anything, and I don't get it. Yeah, I don't.
Well, I think it's because people are still excited to see Nagby. Like, it's probably because he's like a dual national that we just were waiting for a long time to see. But I think Sebastian Leggett, is a top 15 player right now in our pool. Is that crazy?
Ooh. Yeah, maybe you're right. I mean,
I think he'd be more between like 12 to 15, but
I'd hope there are more players that become better, because Leggett's probably like in his prime right now, or close to it.
Well, he's almost past his prime.
He's 28. Yeah.
I said almost past his prime. He's gonna be 30 at the World Cup. But do you think? I think Sebastian Leggett could easily play in Europe.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I guess. But I could see him playing in Serie A, like in the midfield for one of those teams.
Yeah, for sure. I think this role definitely suits him better than when he used to be playing on the wing more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he could definitely be a valuable player. I just hope that we have a lot of players in 5 to 6 years that are better than Leggett is now. But maybe that's, I don't know, maybe that's unrealistic. Like 10 years. But
okay, yeah, me too. But, right now, Sebastian Leggett is probably like our 14th or 15th best player. If not even higher than that. So, no, he's good. I don't get the hate he gets. He's a good player.
All right, let's move on to the forwards. We had Ayo Akinola, Paul Arriola, and Chris Mueller up top. Chris Mueller was just fantastic. I mean, especially in that first half.
It's just what a time, man, when we have two Wisconsin Badgers just absolutely dominating for the U.S. national teams. I mean,
yeah.
For the women, literally maybe the best player in the world, in Rose Lavelle.
Yeah.
And then, we have Chris Mueller now on the men's side. Not anywhere near the best player in the world, but very, very good debut. A lot more dynamic on ball than I thought he was going to be. I remember watching Chris Mueller when he first came into MLS, and he was like a striker who did not do much on the ball. He was just like making runs in the box, let's cross it into him. So to see this evolution, I think is awesome. I mean, it's I don't know. I wasn't expecting to see what I saw, and like I had heard that he had like a great year with Orlando City, but I wasn't expecting this. What about you?
I certainly was not. Yeah, but he looked just so confident on the ball. Looked like he had a lot of chemistry with Vines in the first half, less so with Farfan in the second half. But and he was just also just yeah. I mean, that was really cool. I mean, maybe not really cool, but like to get that assist for Akinola in the first half too, when he easily could have shot it and got a hat trick. Yeah, just unselfish at a lot of times. Wasn't just trying to score. Took shots. Seemed like he made every right decision in the first half and was super smooth doing so. Yeah, he was one of the best players on the pitch tonight. Yeah,
and this year he had 10 goals and 22 appearances for Orlando City. So, I mean, that's impressive, as from the winger spot. Like, that's really good. And, you add him to the mix, and if we're confident in him going forward, we have 6 guys, like, who, obviously, like, Christian Pulisic and Gio Reyna are at a different level. But behind them, having Timothy Weah that can offer some of that pace or play a striker, Paul Arriola, who's a very industrious player, Jordan Morris. Jordan Morris coming off the bench, I think, is a really scary prospect for if I'm an opponent, just with his speed and ability. Yeah. And then, you add Chris Mueller, who can add a little bit of dynamism as well, and just some depth. I was not expecting the performance that we saw from him. Again, he also had a shaky start. And by start, I mean, like, first 5 minutes. I don't know why this... I think it's because I was taking a ton of notes in the first 10 minutes. So, like, I just remember these moments. But obviously, he had an excellent...
Something that happened in the first 10 minutes, off topic, but...
Did you hear the fans? Are you going to talk about the fans?
No, I wasn't. Oh. Well, go ahead, though. What are you talking about, the fans?
Well, I just heard Taylor Twellman and... Was it Adrian Healy tonight?
No, it was. I think it was John Champion.
Why do I get those two confused? They have different voices, but I don't know. One fan was said something about Black Lives Matter, and then his friends started laughing, and I was like, okay, please leave.
Oh no, I did not hear that.
Yeah, I picked up on that. But yeah. Anyway, what were you gonna say?
No, there was this moment where Twellman was like, so you were listening with commentary on.
I was, yeah.
There was this moment where Twellman was like, you should message, they were talking about Coach.
Oh, yeah.
Walter's iPad. He's like, you should message him. And then I don't think John Champion was paying attention, so there was just 10 seconds of silence. And it was the most awkward thing I'd ever heard.
John Champion does that to Taylor a little bit sometimes. No, but then but Champion referenced it later. He referenced that conversation later.
I think he was making up. Yeah.
Well, because
Oma came out of the battleship thing, right?
yeah. Well, in the second half, Taylor Twellman said something about it being really interesting to see Farfan at LAFC. And then there was like 10 seconds of silence, and then Taylor Twellman started talking about it more, and then asked him a question. I don't know. That was a little weird. They weren't at the game, so maybe he had to just pay more attention, and he kept on referring to the world feed because they weren't there. It wasn't ESPN's feed.
This is true, right?
So, and that's probably why we didn't see any god-awful, like, close-ups, because it wasn't an American feed, but...
one thing I did notice about the feed is that, did you notice that,
the delay?
Yeah, there was, like, zoomed-in angles, and then...
And then when you zoomed out, it would, like, go back in time?
Yeah.
That was really trippy. I did not like that.
Yeah, it was not fun. Anyways, okay, last two players, Akinola, Areola, quick thoughts?
Well, I mean, I think we talked about Paul a little bit.
Yeah.
But, I mean, just overall, very, very good performance for him. Akinola, I think I said at the very beginning of the show, he might be the best hold-up player in the pool. I think he has a long way to go in terms... He's not a very refined player yet, but this is his first season playing significant minutes. So I think he can become a really nice player. His finish was really good. He sort of took it off of Brendan Aronson's foot. That pass was definitely intended for Aronson as sort of a thank you from Mueller. But Akinola was able to score. He had some really good hold-up play. And, even on the wing, he actually looked pretty decent. His crosses weren't great, but, holding the ball and then going down the right side when Sebastian Soto came on. I thought overall it was a pretty decent performance for Akinola. I still don't know what we do in the striker. I was very heartened to hear Taylor Twellman talk about Josh Sargent being the player he would start, and I agree. I think he's the best striker in the pool right now. A year ago, I might have said Josie Altidore, but I think now it's Josh Sargent. I think he's got to start. So, yeah, I mean, but Io was good. He was solid. I think I'm saying that a lot. He was solid, but he definitely gives us something that I think that's going to allow him to be in and around the U.S. men's national team for a while, and that hold-up play is just not something we don't have. In the past, we saw Jurgen call up Aaron Gordon and play Aaron Gordon and just throw him on in the 90th minute. That's his name, right? That really tall dude with long hair. Remember him? He played for San Jose.
Yeah.
Alan Gordon, not Aaron Gordon.
Aaron Gordon is basketball.
Yeah, he's a basketball. Alan Gordon, I think it's Alan Gordon. I think that's right. He was part of like the Steven Lenhart and Alan Gordon. They were like the two scrappiest strikers in MLS. Right. But So we saw Terrence Boyd try to be a thing, and he was called up purely for his hold up play. So I think Akinola does that probably even better than those two. So. It's exciting to have someone like that. I mean, how old is Io? Like 20, 21? He's 20. So, he has he has a lot of time to grow, and he's only 5'10". Isn't that insane? I mean, we don't have to talk about heights in soccer, but yeah.
Yeah, we've been on this tangent before. Yeah, no, he definitely brings something. I agree with you that he can find himself. I mean, he has a lot of room to grow too, but just with the specific skills that he has, I could see him just being the third striker on the roster or whatever that whatever it may be. But yeah, he had a goal to his name. He had a couple chances. Maybe he should have done better in a couple opportunities, but
solid.
Probably like just the worst attacker today, but still good. So still solid.
Yeah, I would agree. Should we talk quickly about the subs or?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think we'll just talk about all of them at once. Sebastian Soto, he came on. He was. I mean, I don't know. It wasn't as good as last time. Obviously, he didn't score. I think playing him with Io Akinola on the wing and then bringing on Georgi Mihailovic and putting him on the wing did not help him at all. I think Sebastian Soto needs wingers, like actual wingers, to play with him.
And we saw that was pretty effective in the last US game. So
yeah, exactly.
Brace in like 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So he was okay. I really wanted to see Cole Bassett, but he didn't end up playing tonight. Kellen Acosta, man, it was nice to see you. Welcome back. He was someone we were so excited about. And he still has got that talent, and he's still, I think, a very talented player. His set-piece delivery was awful tonight. But aside from that, he didn't have much to do. He was okay. He's 25 now. Crazy. Any thoughts on those two guys?
Yeah, I thought... Sorry, wait, Kellen Acosta and who?
Soto. I was talking about Soto. Yeah.
Wait, and Kellen Acosta, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Soto, yeah, I thought, like you said, I think that he definitely could have used some support. I just thought... And then, yeah... Again, I just think sometimes late in these friendlies, things get really weird, and you can't always tell. I certainly want to see Soto play or start a game or get an earlier appearance. I mean, at 58th minute, I guess he did play for a long time, so it should be a bit of a knock on him that he wasn't able to produce that much in a half an hour. But
I mean, I think if he was able to play with Paul Arriola and Mueller on the left wing, I think it would have been better for him.
Instead of coming on for Paul Arriola. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Acosta, though, what'd you think?
I thought he was solid. I definitely, there was a time where we were very excited about him, but
yeah.
I think he can have a role in the pool, but again, not, by no means do I think he is going to start for the U.S.
Well, we thought our midfield of the future was Kellen Acosta, Tyler Adams, and Weston McKennie. Well, we got two of them right. So
yeah, and we didn't even know who Musa was back then. So
exactly. Marco Farfan and Georgi Mihailovic also came up. Georgi Mihailovic barely played, so I don't think it's not really worth talking about him. He's not a winger. I know he's been playing outside midfield for the Fire, but he's not a winger in my opinion. He's a central midfielder or an attacking midfielder. And Kyle Duncan came on actually too. But Marco Farfan, he played the full 45. I thought Sam Vines was better.
Yeah, I agree.
And maybe it was because, we didn't talk about El Salvador, but they switched to a back five after it became 5-0. So I think the U.S. just had a much harder time with that. And the runs just weren't available on that left side, so we won't fault him too much. Kyle Duncan, I thought should have probably come out of the game after hitting his head on the floor. I didn't understand why he stayed in the game there, but... good for him.
Finish out these games. This is important.
Yeah, he's Tim Weah's cousin, by the way. So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Tim Weah, by the way, starting tomorrow for Lille in the Europa League.
So he's George Weah's nephew?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's. I don't think it's his blood nephew.
Okay, gotcha.
But he might be. I don't think so though. But yeah, Tim Weah is starting tomorrow for Lille. In the Europa League, so that's actually something y'all should watch. And I mean, you're probably, if you are listening to this, it's probably on Thursday. So, see how Tim Weah did if it's after that. I mean, he was all right. He didn't have much to do either. Any thoughts on the rest of those subs there?
Not particularly.
Okay. Well, I mean, speaking of the Europa League, I mean, Weston McKennie scored a goal yesterday in the Champions League. Weston McKennie scored on Saturday in Serie A. Gio Reyna scored an absolute cracker. And Christian Pulisic scored on Saturday. We've now had 9 U.S. players play in the Champions League in the group stages, and 8 are advancing to the next round. That's pretty spectacular.
That is, yeah.
I mean, and
couldn't have asked for that much.
Yeah, I know. And to go over those players, they are Christian Pulisic. I hope I get all of these. Christian Pulisic, Weston McKennie, Tyler Adams, Conrad De La Fuente, Serginho Dest, Zach Steffen, Ethan Horvath. Who am I forgetting? Oh, Gio Reyna.
Oh yeah.
That's 8. That's 8. Who's the 9th? Oh no. I don't know. Someone.
Ethan
I said Ethan Horvath. Yeah. Someone will tell me somewhere. Yeah. So unless it was 8, but I believe it was. I think it was 9. Well, yeah, because I don't think Ethan Horvath is going to the next round. Yunus Musa didn't play in the Champions League, did he? I don't know. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Are you looking it up?
Yeah, don't count on me though.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a little bit bothersome for me now. But yeah, it's an exciting time. In short, what I'm saying, well, as I buy Sahil some time, it's an exciting time to be a U.S. men's national team fan. We sort of talked about it last time, and it's I don't know, it's really. Oh man, I just back in 2018 to think about where we were then after we failed to qualify for the World Cup and how I feel about this team now is just so different and so exciting. So yeah, any final thoughts, Sahil?
Was it Chris Richards?
Yes.
Okay.
It was Chris Richards. That's who it was. How can I forget? Bayern Munich. So yeah, Chris Richards. Thank you. I'm sure whoever, if I'm sure you guys are screaming at me through your whatever you're listening to this on.
Yeah, no, it's definitely an exciting time. It was good to end the year off on this note. Good to end a crazy year off on this note with some stability, and yeah, looking forward to the packed year that we will have. Many podcasts to come on all these USMNT games. Yeah.
So I think maybe what we should do for next week, before the year ends, since I mentioned Sebastian Lletget being a top 15 player, well, let's both come in with our top 25 players in the national team pool and compare them and see how that goes. We won't talk about it. That'll be our next episode. How about that?
Wait, of the year or just...
Right now.
Okay, right now at the end of Okay.
Yeah. All right.
That sounds good.
Cool.
All right. You guys can email us at soccerbrotherspodcast@gmail.com. Catch us on Twitter or Instagram at soccerbrospod, although I don't know if we're posting much on Instagram nowadays. I don't even think either of us actually use Instagram anymore. So
check out our YouTube channel. I think we might start doing some content on YouTube. So check us out there too.
Yes, absolutely do that. Review and rate us if you can. We're not on Spotify yet, right?
We are on Spotify.
Okay, we are on Spotify. So review and rate us wherever you are. Thank you so much for the support. Any last words?
No. I'm excited. Wear a mask, please.
All right, yes, wear a mask. All right, we'll see you guys next time.
Could you bear it for me?